review. B-Movie Mike review.
This is B-Movie Mike, and this week I'll be reviewing the 1980 Canadian-produced classic slasher film, Terror Train. Terror Train was the directorial debut of Roger Spottiswoode, who would go on to direct such films as Under Fire, The Best of Times, Air America, and The Sixth Day. Terror Train stars veteran actor Ben Johnson, who had worked with Roger Spottiswoode previously on movies directed by Sam Peckinpah and John Ford. Terror Train also stars Jamie Lee Curtis, who was the reigning Scream Queen at the time thanks to her role in Halloween, magician-illusionist David Copperfield, a pre-Vanity Denise Matthews, and Hart Bochner, who would go on to star in many other movies, most notably as the douchebag Ellis in Die Hard. Terror Train starts out at a college New Year's Eve party where some fraternity brothers decide to pull a prank on a fraternity pledge. It's a very mean-spirited prank, and unfortunately for him, it goes awry, and he ends up in a mental institution. The movie cuts to 3 years later with the same group of college kids wanting to have another New Year's Eve party. This is going to be the last party they have together because they're all getting ready to graduate. But because of the events of the last party they had, all parties have been banned from the college campus. They have a great idea, they think, to have the party on a train instead of on the campus. Of course, this turns out to be a bad idea because there is a killer among them, and the bodies begin to pile up. But since everybody's wearing masks, nobody knows who the killer is because every time the killer kills somebody, he takes the mask or the costume of the person he just killed. Therefore, he can move amongst everybody, and nobody knows who is who. The train itself provides a great location for the action to take place as it barrels through the remote Canadian countryside. Of course, the train has no way to communicate with the outside world, and of course, this is also the pre-cell phone era. This film has been described as Halloween on a train, and that's kind of fair. You could also describe it as like an Agatha Christie novel mixed with a slasher film. The conductor begins to find bodies of mutilated college students as the party rages on, and he tries to find out what is going on before everybody on the train is dead. And in what has become the true classic slasher film tradition, the bodies pile up on our way to the showdown between the killer and the final girl. And although I found the very end of Terror Train to be a little silly and unsatisfying, it is still one hell of a ride. And although the ending is a little silly, it does have a lot of things going for it. It's got some good acting, Ben Johnson's great, Jamie Lee Curtis is great, there's a lot of good supporting actors in it. The gore is pretty good, although a bit restrained. There's your usual nudity and drunken hijinks, but the cinematography is awesome. And that should come as no surprise considering that legendary cinematographer John Alcott is behind the lens. He's previously worked with Stanley Kubrick on a number of his films, including A Clockwork Orange and The Shining. When director Roger Spottiswoode originally approached John Alcott about doing the cinematography for Terror Train, he was actually surprised when he agreed to do it. He said, "You realize I only have 25 days to shoot this film, and we're going to be doing at least 30 setups a day, and I know you're used to working on much bigger budgeted projects with directors like Stanley Kubrick." And Alcott's reply was, "That is exactly why I want to do a movie like this, because when I work on the big budget movies with Stanley Kubrick, he does like one setup a day and it bores the shit out of me. I want to work on a movie that's exciting and fun. That's why I want to do Terror Train." It's all the talent behind the camera and in front of the camera that I believe raises Terror Train up above the other Me Too slasher films of the 80s. As of right now, Terror Train is only available on a lackluster, no-bones, bare-bones, piece of crap DVD that was released by 20th Century Fox in 2004. That is a shame. Considering how good this film is, and who made it, and who was in it, it deserves a much better release. I would love to see a Blu-ray with a bunch of extras, a making-of featurette. They really need to do this film justice. This concludes my review of Terror Train, and I highly recommend you check it out. If you're as big a fan of 80s slasher films as I am, you'll love it. And as always, please check out all the awesome YouTube channels located in my More Channels of Movie Madness box located down there. This is B-Movie Mike, and I'll be back soon with another review. Thanks for watching.